From Indy's streaming news leader, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
Well, for the second time in as many weeks, Florida takes a direct hit from a major hurricane. Milton is now the third hurricane to hit Florida this year. It cut a path of devastation across Florida, dumping record rain, devastating winds, and causing dozens of tornadoes to form. We're seeing the aftermath for the first time, and meanwhile, many storm-battered residents are wondering, where do they go from here? Thanks so much for joining us at noon. I'm Caitlin Kendall. Milton made landfall last night along Florida's Gulf Coast as a Category 3 storm. Crews have been out rescuing people this morning, many trapped by flooding. At least 4 people were killed in St. Lucie County by tornadoes that struck before Milton made landfall. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
The storm made landfall just south of here last night. The wind was powerful and the rain was pouring sideways at times. We're now getting a closer look at all of the devastation.
People across the state of Florida surveying the damage after a ferocious Hurricane Milton made landfall along the west coast.
The house vibrated when the gusts really picked up.
The storm coming ashore in Siesta Key near Sarasota late Thursday as a Category 3 hurricane, packing powerful winds up to 120 miles per hour and several feet of storm surge, uprooting trees and downing power lines. 3 million customers now without power. In St. Petersburg, a large construction crane collapsing onto a street, damaging another building. Luckily, it had been evacuated, and there are no reports of injuries. Powerful winds causing the roof of Tropicana Field, home of the Tampa Bay Rays, to partially rip off.
This is bad. I've never seen, for all 37 years being in Tampa, I've never seen like this something.
Rescue crews out all morning in boats helping people escape their flooded homes and neighborhoods. At least 38 tornadoes reported before the storm made landfall.
You can see just the devastation around me. All of this, once the contents of a home, everything that was inside is now just in this field. We can see the dishwasher, we can see a microwave, chairs, clothes.
And at this home in Wellington, the front door now blocked by a car lifted and dropped there by the wind. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says the situation could have been worse.
The storm surge, as initially reported, has not been as significant overall as what was observed for Hurricane Helene.
Florida officials also say 135 officers have also been deployed along with thousands of National Guard members. Power crews are working around the clock to get everyone back online. Rena Roy, ABC News, Tampa, Florida.
And with rescue and recovery efforts happening after Hurricane Milton, President Biden says emergency declarations have been approved for Florida. Biden spoke to Florida Governor Ron DeSantis this morning and reassured him again that he will provide any support that state needs to speed response and recovery. He added the Secretary of Defense has search and rescue teams in position for life-saving missions. Biden is also condemning misinformation about the federal government's response, which has been amplified by the Trump campaign, and it includes false claims that FEMA's disaster relief fund is being diverted to migrants.
Over the last few weeks, there's been a reckless and irresponsible and relentless promotion of disinformation and outright lies about what's going on. It's undermining confidence in the people in Florida. An incredible rescue and recovery work that has been undertaken.
Recovery efforts after Hurricane Helene last week are ongoing, and today the Secretary of Homeland Security will be in North Carolina, meeting with local, state, and federal teams there. After 2 weeks of deployment, an update now from Task Force 1. The Indiana Task Force 1 has been reassigned to Hurricane Milton. The task force is supporting communities in western North Carolina after Hurricane Helene, but they are now headed to an area near Tampa to cover areas of Florida. We caught up with Task Force 1 as that group staged in Georgia yesterday, waiting for further instruction. Task Force 1's leader says having 2 different assignments during a single deployment is a first for the team.
The reason they call us is because of the size and complexity of this. So we're going in to assist them to help them do these search and rescues right off the bat. Today, all our guys were running through just-in-time training. We were talking about moving by aircraft, so we went over a lot of aircraft safety, loading and unloading, how we move about, different training techniques we might need once we get in there, work with all of our folks to be able to, just be as prepared as we can be.
Now, earlier today, the team did post to Facebook saying they were headed to Tampa. We asked about an estimated time frame for the group's return home. We were told not until the job is done. You can donate to hurricane relief efforts through the Scripps Howard Fund. It's a public charity that's established by our parent company, EW Scripps, and it certainly takes a village, people stepping up to help. This fund is working with our stations in the areas hit hard by these storms to identify local nonprofit organizations to quickly provide aid. You can scan the QR code right here on your screen to donate, or you can also text Scripps to 50155. Let's turn things over to our storm team meteorologist, Macy Tetrick. You know, Macy, we've been talking about tracking this storm the past few days, and I like to see behind you, it looks like it's moved away from Florida.
Very slowly, yes. We have seen it move really over the entire coast of Florida. Take a look at this on satellite. This is a loop of the last several hours from very, very early this morning, making its way with winds up to 80 miles per hour. And now it is going back into the ocean. And that's good news because it is going to stay there. Notice the course of where it will go from here. Still spinning around, still churning as that Category 1 in strength. It is still at hurricane status right now. We are still seeing some winds up to 80 miles per hour, but this will continue to track to the east, so likely not going to have any more impacts as it continues its path going forward. But we've had plenty of impacts already. Still a little bit of that rain that's impacting portions of Florida, but I like this loop because you can see this is starting to lose some of the intensity and how much that rain is falling. Jacksonville area, Daytona Beach, still getting a little bit of that rain, but again, that will push off to the east. And just focusing here at home, we are so opposite of that because all we have is sunny skies for today. Caitlin.
Macy, thanks so much for that. And let's turn to some of the other latest headlines where IMPD recently approved $338 million budget includes funding for mental health resources for officers and other staff. Our Rachel Wilkerson sat down with the police chief to learn a bit more about how help will soon be available to an officer's fingertips.
Every day is different for police officers. Some of the things they do and see impacts their mental health, but they don't always talk about it. That's why IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says a new app was passed in the budget to give officers an anonymous outlet.
There is no way to really truly describe what officers experience and what they see on a day-to-day basis.
After 15 years with IMPD, Chris Wilburn medically retired.
I wore the badge as if it were Superman sometimes, and I didn't want to acknowledge what I was experiencing, what I saw, how it made me feel, how it impacted me.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey says he doesn't want officers to be silent when they're struggling.
That's not acceptable any longer. It's okay to say something. It's okay not to be okay. We have to remove that stigma.
The same company that helps officers heal from physical injuries will now help on the mental side through the Shield app. It will soon be in the hands of officers and staff who can use it to check in, find resources, and schedule appointments.
Protein Tactical Performance is the company. It allows officers to check in quarterly at a minimum, and it'll ask a series of questions, and then it's looking for things like sleeping disorders or anxiety or depression issues.
IMPD will then track the anonymous data for training purposes.
We want to save careers before I have to make decisions that end their employment. Things and behavior that occur that may have been as a result of untreated trauma.
Chief Bailey says the idea came from the Indianapolis Fire Department. Battalion Chief Rita Reith says IFD rolled out the app in March, and out of nearly 1,300 firefighters, around 50% have used the Shield app, around 20% specifically for mental health.
It has been so beneficial in helping our people go from I need a resource to preventing something from escalating to what could be a life-threatening situation.
Wilburn feels having an app like this could have possibly kept him on the force longer. He says he hopes people will use it.
Then maybe there'll be marriages saved, lives saved in terms of suicide, reduction of suicide rates amongst officers.
In Indy, Rachel Wilkerson, WRTV.
Now, the company behind the app says the goal is to get those who reach out for help an in-person appointment within 72 hours. Well, 2 new homes are up for sale on the city's near west side, and they are part of a plan to increase affordable housing. A ribbon cutting was held on Pershing Avenue in Hallville on Wednesday. The two homes are part of the Vacant to Vibrant program. Last year, the city allocated nearly $6 million to help turn vacant lots or abandoned homes into other opportunities for new homeowners. The West Side Community Development Corporation received $300,000. The organization says that over the last 10 years, the rate of home ownership has dipped to less than 40%.
As we have seen that decline, it alarms us, and that's why you will hear me say, not only do we want to provide affordable home ownership and add to the supply, we want sustainable home ownership.
The homes are already on the market and they will be finished by November. Families who make 80% or less of the area median income qualify. The West Side CDC has received grant money to build 15 more homes over the next 2 years. Election season can certainly be exciting, right? But it can also be very stressful. Still to come, some ways that you can ease your feelings of anxiety. And the group that could play a major role in picking the next president of the United States, how Hispanics are are being wooed by both parties. Good News at Noon continues just after this. The days and weeks leading up to any election can be stressful, and that is particularly true this year. An Associated Press poll found roughly 3/4 of Americans believe the upcoming presidential election is vital to the future of U.S. democracy. To help anxious voters, the mental health company Headspace has partnered with the nonpartisan group When We All Vote to provide people with some free resources. There is a stress quiz. For instance, people can find out just how anxious they really are. Some tips that you can do to help cope: take care of your physical health and get enough sleep. Try a few things like breathing meditation or even mindfulness exercise. And also limit your social media use and bad news intake if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. Also remember, in less than a month, the election chaos will all be over. Hispanic Heritage Month comes at a critical time this year. Just as voters are heading to the polls, both parties are stepping up their outreach to Latino voters. A critical voting block that could very well determine the next president of the United States. More now from ABC's Rachel Bade.
When Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris for president last month, some Democrats were actually pining for the support of another famous singer, Bad Bunny. The Puerto Rican icon and rapper, who Democrats think could actually have more sway in the election than any other pop artist, especially with the 300,000 Puerto Rican voters in the must-win state of Pennsylvania. President Biden, after all, carried the swing state by just 80,000 votes in 2020. And this year, many believe Latinos in Pennsylvania and other battleground states could very well choose the next president.
Latinos are the second largest voting cohort with 36.2 million eligible voters. That's 4 million more than in 2020. And they have huge numbers in most of the battleground states. In a close election, and we know it will be, Latinos could decide the outcome.
A recent poll showing Kamala Harris carrying 54% of registered Latinos, compared to 40% for Donald Trump. But the vice president's 14-point advantage is actually the lowest it's been for a Democratic candidate in the past 4 presidential elections.
Republicans, they don't need the majority of the Latino vote to win. They just need to cut into the Democrats' advantage, and that's what's been happening.
Polls show Latino voters prefer Harris's temperament, but on matters they care about most, they're turning to Trump. Latinos are more likely than the general public to prioritize cost of living and economy as top voting issues, even securing the border, all areas where Trump has an advantage.
They trust Trump more on the economy and immigration. Also, more and more Latinos are joining evangelical congregations where former President Trump has a lot of support.
Also unhelpful for Harris, many Latino voters feel Democrats simply haven't delivered for them.
Democrats have promised an immigration reform that would open the door to the legalization of undocumented immigrants. And now they support a more hardline approach at the border, in part because they don't want to be associated with the chaos at the border.
The Harris campaign trying to claw back support. Her team releasing more Spanish-speaking ads this week.
Contra las grandes farmacéuticas.
The good news for Harris, the race isn't over yet. With less than half of eligible Latinos actually showing up to vote, an effective turnout operation could make all the difference. The Harris campaign is clear-eyed about her problem with Latino voters, but while they're stepping up their game, more than half of Latino voters say they haven't been contacted by either party. With less than a month until Election Day, time is running out. Rachel Bade, ABC News, Washington.
Good Thursday afternoon. Let's take a look at temperatures as they are starting to warm quite a bit now. Even Terre Haute making it up to the 70-degree mark already. And we've got that sunshine out there. It feels great as you're getting out. Notice to the east, slower to warm there. Richmond still at 61, but not to worry. We're going to continue to warm as we head through the remainder of the day today. We've got sunny skies really throughout the entire day with temperatures warming into the mid-70s. Later this evening, our sunset will happen just before 7:15, and as that happens, temperatures start to dip down into the 60s, but we'll continue to see nice clear skies through the overnight. Overnight low temperatures likely dipping down into the mid or upper 40s, so similar to where we were early this morning, maybe just a degree or two cooler compared to early this morning. Looking at the rest of the day tomorrow, finally Friday, and a lot of sunshine for you once again. Temperatures, I think, will be even warmer once we go through the middle of the day. We've got the upper 60s by lunchtime and then climbing into the upper 70s to end the week, and that's going to set the scene beautifully for Friday Night Football. We'll see mostly sunny skies at the start of the game with temperatures in the 70s. Through the rest of the game, temperatures likely falling through those 60s, so maybe a little bit of that chill in the air, or you might want to take a blanket with you for the end of the game, or at least a hoodie, a sweatshirt, something like that. Should stay dry, but there will be a few more clouds by the end of the game. Watch what happens as we go forward here. We'll start the clock at 4 o'clock on Friday. Some of those clouds rolling into the northern portion of the state. Those will continue to move into the area as we get to Saturday. We're watching to see if any rain could sprinkle in with those clouds. Looks like most of the rain will stay very isolated to the northern portion of the state, but it is possible in our area, especially if you live to the north, there could be just a couple of those showers passing through. That would be late Saturday night into Sunday morning. For the weekend forecast, I really don't think you'll expect much rain, though. Many of you will stay completely dry, so go ahead with your weekend plans outdoors. Maybe that involves going to the apple orchard. 79 on Saturday, and then we'll start to cool Sunday. That is a front that brings the clouds and some breezy conditions, so 73, a bit cooler on Sunday, still above normal. The real cool down will happen, though, once we get past the weekend. 60 degrees on Monday. That's how we'll start next week. Tuesday and Wednesday a bit cooler in the 50s. Notice we have some overnight lows Monday night and Tuesday night that dip into the upper 30s. Still a bit breezy Monday night, but Tuesday night that wind will calm down, so it's possible we'll look ahead to our first frost of the season on Tuesday night.
Move on over DoorDash and Uber Eats. You can see it here. There is a new food delivery service at the University of Minnesota. We've seen this at a couple universities in Indiana. This one doesn't need a driver, and it's because the delivery vehicles are robots. Officials say the robots are more than a novelty. They actually serve a big purpose.
We have a number of locations on campus that just don't have great accessibility to food. And when students and faculty and staff are on campus, they want to be able to have food in between tight class schedules.
And the robots are designed and operated by Starship Technologies. The cost? $2.49 plus a 10% delivery fee. Users follow the robot's location through the app after they place an order and use it to unlock the compartment with their food. The robots use machine learning and AI to cross streets, make it up curves, and even avoid obstacles. They're also able to run at night and in the rain or the snow.
Oh, what a beautiful day we have in store for us. We've got mostly sunny skies, temperatures warming into the mid-70s, and it'll be even warmer Friday and Saturday to take us into the weekend before that big cool down next week. We hope you have a great day, enjoy the sunshine, and see you back here at 5 o'clock tonight.